5 to 10 years, considering Brexit or other influences.
So have a main fund of what? Sorry.
Source of funding.
For the Wolverhampton as a whole?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have sponsors. And the main team sponsor I've had now is coming up to 19th year. The one I had before that was 9 years. And the sponsor 9 years was part of the big Goodyear tyre company, and we were sponsored by his tyre sales division called Tyre Services Great Britain. And they used to entertain people. At the same time, they sponsored a soccer club, and they sponsored the Speedway, the same group. And we used to have people come to Speedway, and we make a fuss of there's corporate facilities and whatever. So we then take these VIPs down to the centre green. They watch a race from the centre green, and if I could put my crowd on the centre green, I'd be in the Bahamas now, I'm sure I would. Because the difference in the aspect when you're watching from the middle, the speed, than watching behind glass or whatever. If you watch it on the middle, the speed, and you really see the danger. So when these VIPs are taken onto that middle and see this race, it opens their eyes, and then we make a fuss and thank them for coming. And the Goodyear group used to get far more thank yous to their head office from the people that came to Speedway than the same people that came to the football, because they thought they were treated rather better. And I mean, that's no disrespect to the football club, but it's a difference between looking after 28,000 people on Saturday and 2,000 on a Monday, so we could give them more time. So we look after those sponsors, and that's without sponsors, then the sport, wouldn't survive. As well as those, we've got, as I say, NGK spark plugs. We have quite a list of sponsors, because all I get to spend on the team is what comes through the turnstiles. I'm in a rented stadium, that's not my stadium. So I pay a rent to be there. So anything on top of that, catering, drinks, bars, restaurant, is solely the landlord's. It helps me when I'm promoting the club by saying we've got a nice restaurant to sit in. It helps me bring people there, and particularly business people. But I don't get a penny for what they spend in the restaurant. So sponsors are vital to Wolverhampton, because on a race night, all I've got is what comes through the turnstiles. And the biggest financial blow to the sport as a whole is the British weather, because we're very susceptible to the weather conditions. Last year was a relatively nice summer, but we have had terrible years where we've lost 5, 6 events. And the cost then, if you can imagine all these riders are flying in from Poland for me on a Monday, which is down to my cost, and then the meeting doesn't go ahead, then the financial blow from that is immense. So we need the sponsors. We think that we look after them very well. We give them value for money. The BT television contract helps with that, because they can put their advertising banners up. You saw the one NGK produced, all they were bothered about was their banners. If you watched a lot of it, was just promoting their banners and through. So we try and look after sponsors as best as we can, but they are vital. We belong to an association, which the British Speedway Promoters Association, which brokered the TV deal on behalf of all of us. There's 18 live matches on a Monday evening in the schedule this year, of which so far I've been selected to show 2 of them on a Monday night from Monmouth Green. So that, as I say, that helps, but unfortunately on the Mondays when I'm on television, if the weather's a little bit iffy, that can affect me as well, because why would you kind of battle through the rush hour traffic to get to Monmouth Green on a Monday if you can sit in a pub and watch it, So it does affect me, but I'm still positive enough to think that the positive from being on TV outweighs the negatives.
In terms of funding, do you receive any funding from the government?
No, we've tried, because I've been chairman of the association over the past years, and we've tried during my times as chairman. I think because it involves motorised the bikes, that's where we've hit a brick wall with the funding. I mean, a lot of other sports get it, but it's the fact that it's involving a motorcycle, I think. It's not pure skill of kicking a ball or hitting a tennis ball with a racket. It's the fact that the motorised element is, we've always been told, that's why we can't get government funding.
And like in terms of budget, what kind of budget do you need like to stay among the top elite clubs in the UK?
What time budget? I need to gain an income of around 30 to 35,000 pounds on Monday. I need to get that kind of income within the club. We've got 15 events scheduled this season, and if we get through to the playoffs and there's a cup competition, there's 3 more opportunities. If we're successful, we get another 3 meetings. But the minimum we will provide for our fans is 15. We start off in April every single Monday because the foreign commuting hasn't started. We're the earliest country to start our racing. Then once we start, all the riders start giving a bit of a break. We go every second week on average. So it's 2 a month once we get May onwards. But April we're running every single Monday because the riders are here, they haven't got a commute. It helps me, and it helps get a bit of cash. It helps get a bit of cash balance as well. You know, I've run 5 meetings before we start having gaps. So that's a business decision. But after that, it averages out to about every second week, just like soccer. Soccer is normally every second week.
I was going to say, why do you do your event on a Monday, and do you think changing the day would provide like more costly, or do you think Monday is the best day for it?
Why Monday? Why do you have your fixtures every Monday?
Because we exist in the stadium with greyhound racing. Now greyhound racing runs on a Monday. The greyhound racing finishes at 6:14. We've got everything ready to go at 7:30. So every single day there's greyhound racing, which when I first went into the stadium, greyhound racing was on its knees. I was kind of the beach knees, so I was very welcome. Now greyhound racing is thriving, not through the people that come to watch. If you come to a greyhound meeting at Monmouth Green on the Monday afternoon, if there's 20 people, I'm exaggerating, but it's the turnover through the betting shops. It's broadcast live throughout Europe. So, and the Monday afternoon greyhound meeting at Monmouth Green is the second average weekly turnover in betting shops throughout Europe. Is the greyhound racing from Monmouth Green. But if you drove into the stadium, there's about 20 people, but you get the fees. So it is restricted, and top level racing, because all the top riders want to be in Europe at the weekend, we can only race on a Monday or a Thursday, right? So the alternative would be a Thursday, and I believe Monday is a good night compared to Thursday, because I believe you've gone back to work or you've gone back to college, whatever, you think, God, after the weekend, fancy I've got to do something tonight. I've always believed that philosophy. I've got to do something tonight. I'll go along to the Speedway. And I've got very little alternative attractions. A lot of people don't operate on a Monday, you know. And one thing I didn't touch on earlier, when I'm trying to promote and market the sport, some Mondays, because the weather might have intervened, I look out and there's probably half the crowd I was expecting. And it's very easy for your head to drop, but I've never allowed that to happen because I've always operated on the principle that on those terraces tonight, there's somebody there